Welcome to the podcast. I'm John.
And I'm Lizzie.
This is Harry Potter and the Second Time Reader.
Did it right.
Nailed it. That was perfect.
Nice.
I just got it so good now. All right, so we're doing 5 more chapters for this podcast, and we're going to speed through these ones. This is chapter 6 through chapter 10. So give me a quick summary of chapter 6, Gilderoy Lockhart.
Basically, you meet the most annoying person ever.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Wait. Who's the most annoying person ever, though? That's the real question. Because Colin Creevey is introduced into this chapter. You remember who Colin Creevey is?
Yeah, Colin is kind of endearing, though.
Yeah, I love him. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. I don't mind him.
Yeah. Colin's kind of great. The next chapter is chapter 7. And forgive me for saying this. This chapter is called Mudbloods and Murmurs.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. I still don't know. Very eventful. I think that's like where it starts to pick up.
Yeah, for sure. This is the chapter where it kind of hits.
Yeah. Quidditch.
Yeah, there's Quidditch, and then there's like a big fight between everyone. Ron gives a huge download of information about what the words mean and like the history, not really the full history of them, obviously, but like what wizarding culture kind of thinks of these things. Chapter 8 is called The Death Day Party.
I love the Death Day Party.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's cool. Basically, the ghost invites the trio to his party. They go. Yeah. And then they miss the Halloween party.
Yeah, they missed the Halloween feast.
Which is sad.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know what goes on.
Yeah, fascinating question. What would you rather do? Go to a Death Day party or go to a Halloween feast?
Death Day parties.
Yeah.
I don't know. What happens at a Halloween feast?
It's just a massive feast.
Then I would rather go to a Death Day party. Like, if I could go to a feast at some point in my life.
Yeah.
But if I only had the opportunity to go to the Death Day party once, I'm going to that. Moaning Myrtle.
I know, for real. Moaning Myrtle's in my radiator heat right now. Weird. Yeah, I want to talk about that one more. I'll ask you that one again. We'll go over that one. Chapter 9 is The Writing on the Wall. What's this chapter about?
Filch's cat gets killed.
Yeah.
And is hung up by its tail.
It's a little freaky, yeah.
And then it's like the heir of Slytherin, or the heir of the chamber or something.
Yeah.
Is back. The chamber's open.
Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the heir, beware.
Enemies of the heir, beware. That's good. And then also people will start getting petrified.
Yeah.
Does that happen in this chapter or that's later?
Only one gets petrified in this chapter.
Apart from the cat?
Yeah.
I don't remember who goes first.
It's just the cat in this chapter, I think. I don't think any students actually get petrified.
Colin gets petrified. Right? Colin has the camera?
Yeah, he gets petrified later, though. In a different chapter. I think in this one it's only Mrs. Norris. The cat.
Mrs. Norris.
What a name for a cat. Something
is so weird with that cat. I don't know what I believe, but I don't think it's just a cat. Like,
yeah,
it's something's wrong.
His wife trapped in a
I think body. So. It's definitely not just like a normal cat. Because Crookshanks, I think, is a normal cat. Uh-huh. It's just in the wizarding world. It like is smart.
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Norris, though, something's weird.
Yeah, she's something extra.
Yeah.
We'll go over to that. She's there's lots of theories about what Mrs. Norris could actually be. Because she seems a little outside of typical magical cats. We'll get there.
What color is she?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think she's like mixed gray. I think she's like an old cat. So I would say like a little bit gray. Maybe like black and gray. A little bit of like red thrown in there. I don't know.
Red?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
A red cat?
Yes.
Orange cat, I guess. Maybe orange is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
A red Redheads aren't really red; they're orange. All right, but chapter 10 is the Rogue Bludger, and you remember what that chapter is about?
There's a bludger that keeps attacking Harry over and over and over, and it's rigged, and nobody really knows what it is. And then he falls off and like breaks his arm, and Lockhart tries to fix it, and then you realize Dobby sent the bludger.
Yeah, because he takes all the bones in his arm, and he has to go to the hospital wing, and realizes it's Dobby.
Yeah,
so freaking annoying.
I hate Dobby for that. There's that line that's like, if he doesn't stop trying to save your life, he's gonna kill you or something like that. Yeah. Which is so good.
There are really a lot of good lines surrounded with Dobby, like the things that they say to him and the things that Dobby himself says. But he's so annoying in this book.
Oh yeah.
You definitely understand him a little bit more, but he's pretty annoying. But another annoying character is Gilderoy Lockhart. What do you think of Gilderoy Lockhart?
I hate him. Like from the jump, I don't like him. He bothers me. I was never into him as like, okay, he's like supposed to be attractive and everyone loves him. I was just like, no, just absolute bad vibes. He has an ego. He's full of himself. I don't know.
You've never like fangirled about someone and like not thought about any of their personality. It's just been like appearance.
Is that a question or a statement?
Question.
I don't know, because I was definitely, I feel like, fangirling over Sirius. And then like on the reread, I had to like reevaluate because he's not.
Yeah.
That's not okay. But they're like children. So what am I supposed to do? Like there's nobody.
No, not even just a series, just in like real life.
Oh,
like because everyone is obsessed with this guy who they think is like this incredible person. There's like celebs and stars out there that are like that. You've never had like one of those moments where it's like this, whatever this person does, it's like gold.
No, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm just so a personality forward person anyways that like I need to know your personality's good in order to start fangirling about you. And then it like, I don't know.
Yeah. That like kickstarts.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes a person more attractive if the personality is really good.
But there's definitely people that I'm like a fangirl over.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like everyone, yeah. That's why everyone is a fangirl of Lockhart in this, which it seems a little strange. He's like a little too pompous and a little too arrogant for me. But maybe one of the most pressing questions for this chapter, I want to hear your thoughts on this, is why did Dumbledore hire Lockhart?
Oh, I have the perfect answer to this. Okay. So we established that Dumbledore's gay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Dumbledore needs to have someone fill this role of defense against the dark arts. Also, this is very complex, but if you have the choice of choosing someone that you find very attractive or very ugly to both be bad at the job that you need to be filled, are you picking the ugly person or the pretty person?
The pretty person.
Okay, so he has 0 options that are going to be good. So he picks Lockhart because Lockhart's hot and he would rather sit by Lockhart at dinner than by some rando.
So you think this is vanity on Dumbledore's part?
But I think Lockhart probably plagiarized something that Dumbledore did in his book.
Interesting.
And then Dumbledore knows, because Dumbledore knows everything, that he can ultimately destroy Lockhart and like get revenge.
Oh, so this is, that's the most common theory that people have for why Dumbledore hired him. They wanted, Dumbledore knew all about his secrets, and they knew Dumbledore was not the only one, but the person that was going to out him for this. And he was going to do it through a whole school year.
Yeah. And then why not just get to hang out with the hot person?
That's a whole different component. I like that, actually. Yeah, why not just hang out with the hot person the whole year? You know, like get to look at that person at lunch every day, and you're like, oh, all right.
Exactly.
That's an interesting theory. My only question on that is why waste an entire school year of the students if you're just trying to defame someone? Like surely, so like it's hard to find anybody for this job, but surely they can find someone better than Lockhart.
I don't necessarily believe that. Like maybe there's not someone better, or maybe everything is so unsure because of the rise of the dark arts again that I guess Dumbledore would be able to tell and see through people. But like maybe no one with good intentions is doing it. So the only safe option is like picking dumb people who can't do magic.
Yeah, that's actually not too bad. There is a theory, and this is probably what I believe most, that Dumbledore in book 1 was unsure of Harry. When Harry went through all the tests, he realized how remarkable Harry was. And what Dumbledore did in book 2 was essentially use Lockhart as an example of Dumbledore justifying to Harry why he separated him from the magical world. Because Lockhart is so drunk on fame and on everyone coming like at him and like fawning over him, that he said, Harry, this is what you would have become had you stayed in the magical world. So he's like showing Harry an example here, and Harry hates this guy. He's like disgusted with this person because he went through everything that he went through. He doesn't love fame because he hasn't grown up in it. But if he grew up in it, maybe he would have become accustomed to it and would have become like Lockhart, handing out autographs and doing all sorts of other things. I think it's like there's a few holes in that, but it's a little strange that Lockhart is hired as a professor here.
I like that theory. And then it's also like kind of proves why Dumbledore did his thing. Like it proves his past actions, but it also kind of like sets up Harry for the future. Yeah. Like now you have a firsthand experience of you don't like this. Now don't become that.
And Dumbledore, then he's like, and he is really good looking. So, might as well have him around.
I was kind of proud of that theory.
In the books, who is the best looking person in your head?
Sirius. He's just become my ideal man.
He's got like tattoos all on him. Yeah. Are you like a tattoo person?
Yeah. I do love a sleeves. Tattoo. And long hair.
Yeah, a little long black hair.
And like brunette, I've never liked a blonde ever. So immediately no to Lockhart.
Yeah, I'm with
so like
you.
I don't even picture Lockhart as attractive. Like to me, I think he's maybe a conventionally attractive person.
Yeah.
But like I can be aware that someone's conventionally attractive and not like them.
Lockhart isn't attractive to me at all in the books. Like how he's described, like his attitude, even his like physical appearance, like just smiling all the time and super, like perfect hair and like, he's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. And then probably the other one that I think is attractive is Bill.
Ooh, yeah.
Bill has an earing.
Yeah, he's got the earring.
Yeah, the
fang earring.
Yeah.
There's a description of Bill that I love that it just says, he was just cool.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. That's
so good.
I think that's all, honestly.
Yeah. There's a few other ones. We'll talk about crushes later on in the books. Did you get to the series in season 1 where we start giving out the Hot Tamale Award?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start giving that out.
Good. And later. Then every time it can just be Sirius.
Sirius wasn't even in these chapters, Leslie. Yeah, but he's still the Hot Tamale.
He's there in spirit. Can feel him and Harry. No, he's in the first book. This is the only book that he's like not really in.
Yeah, for sure. You're actually dead on right. He's in every book except for book 2 probably.
And then maybe the flying car is a thing because they saw the flying motorcycle.
So he really is there in spirit.
Exactly. It couldn't have been done without him. The whole series is resting on Sirius's shoulders.
I like that theory. I like that. You're gonna have to piece a lot of plot holes together with that one. But what are your thoughts on Colin Creevey?
I think he's too overzealous.
Yeah.
But I don't mind him. I can excuse his behavior. Like, I don't think I would do that because I would understand, like, I'm going to go to school with Harry for a long term.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's kind of acting like it's all just, like, this moment of, like, let me get a photo. But I don't know.
He's kind of cute.
Yeah. Like he's likable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a Dobby, but, like, a more likable Dobby at this moment,
Because there's no, like, ill intent with him. Like, he just is annoying in a way.
Yeah.
But, like, Dobby, you're kind of like, ooh.
Yeah.
Is Dobby, like, actually bad?
Now, in the next chapter, there's the mention of Quidditch, and they're, like, back in Quidditch, really. Do you still really like this when you were reading it for the second time, or you're like, I still really love this game? It's a great game.
I like Quidditch.
Yeah.
There is a time when I start to dislike Quidditch, but this is
What do you
not
mean?
that time.
This isn't the time?
No, it's still good. At this point,
there's a time in the series that you start to dislike Quidditch?
Yeah. Which you could probably guess immediately just by judging what book I'm in real, like what I'm actually reading.
Like Victor Crumb? Like the Quidditch World Cup?
Yeah, it's just too over the top.
Really?
Because this is, to me, I was reading it and I stopped and I was like, this is why book people are book people and movie people are movie people, because this is like too much information.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like so descriptive. Nothing was happening. And I just felt like all of these pages and paragraphs could become like in one little drone sweep shot of just like the stadium, so much is happening. All of that could have been done in like 5 seconds of film, and then in a book
she's building the world here through
I know
this.
and that was my like little juxtaposition, but it was just annoying to me. Like the whole book 4 is so slow in the beginning.
Wow, really? Yeah. I cannot wait to talk about that.
That's why I like stopped. I got so slowed down.
Dang. Okay. So stay slow because I want to get your live thoughts when you're reading.
I'll reread 3 and then it'll be really good. 3 is like my favorite so far.
Really?
Yeah. Out of the first 4, 3 is definitely my top.
Reread 3 and then we'll talk next week about 3 or something like that. Okay. So after they have this whole like practice for the Quidditch team and there's like a spat with both of the teams, Malfoy calls Hermione the M word. What do you think about that? The M word.
There's 2 M words now: magic,
yeah,
and Mudbloods.
There you go.
I think in my first
that would actually be a great chapter name for this. You should have called it Magic and Mudbloods because that would have been the 2 bad words. That's great, Lizzie. Oh my gosh, you should be an editor.
The first time I read this, it didn't hit me as that important or that deep, and maybe I wasn't invested in it. And I would text you and I'd be like, "What's up, Mudblood?" Yeah. And I would like refer to you as that. And then now I'm like, "Oh my goodness, this is racism. Like we can't say that." And it was
can't
like
say that word.
Deeply hurting me. And I was just like, this is so not okay. Just like morally, I just care too much. I can't, like, I don't know. There's no, like, you can't discriminate against people like that. Like, that's so bad of you to just like, why does it, Hermione's like the greatest person ever.
Yeah.
And then it's just a low blow.
There's another theory. Were you bringing this up to? Some people, they theorize that Draco is actually the second best student in the class. And he's very jealous of Hermione because Hermione is head and shoulders better than anybody else. And clearly head and shoulders above the second best person, which is possibly Draco.
And that's why his
dad's so pissed off. That's why he's so pissed off because he can't get his dad's approval. And that's why he takes it out on Hermione so much. And because she's Muggle-born.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of always thought of him as not as dumb as Crabbe and Goyle, but not super smart, not the top of his class. Yeah,
there's lots of actually proof in the text that he's one of the smarter kids in the entire class too. He's definitely not Hermione's level, but I don't know of any other student in that entire class that is quite at a high level. Like maybe Ernie Macmillan is, because he's studying all the time, but it might really be Draco.
What? Are Ron and Harry like B students? That's the vibe.
Ron is definitely a C student. Harry is a B student.
Okay.
Harry is a B student, gets A's in some. We'll get a C in 1 or 2.
I didn't realize Ron was that bad. I thought he always did okay. But like if his siblings are all so good and he wants to be head boy, I thought he would actually like be doing better.
Yeah. Did you hear there's a theory, or not the theory. There's when they were playing their characters, one of the directors gave them an assignment and said, I want you to understand these characters more. So I want you to write an essay on what the characters would do. You know that story?
Yeah.
It's the best.
And they just match their characters perfectly.
Because Ron didn't write it at all. That's exactly what Ron would do. He wouldn't write it. Ron is definitely just squeaking by in school. He's there for, like, honestly, I respect it in Ron. I've gone in all sorts of spectrums. When I was in high school, I was a terrible student. And then when I was in college, I was like a straight A student. And I like really focused on academics. And then I became like a mid-level student. And I'm like, you know what? The most fun was when I was like just chilling, enjoying it as like, you know, as a social with my friends. Like that was the best time I had in school.
And then you start being like, they can't define my intelligence by one test. Yeah. And then from that point, you just
it just crashes down.
Yeah. I'm definitely more of a Hermione kind of gal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight A student.
Pretty much. I mean, I have one looming C, but that was a low point in my life.
Lizzie's like, in the second grade, I got a C once, and that was it. That was the worst.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I prioritize. I need academic validation.
In Harry Potter, when they're talking about this whole like download of information, it's interesting because Ron is.
What do you mean?
So Ron kind of gives like a like not like a lecture, but he talks to them about what mudbloods are and how he says like stuff like mudblood is a really foul name for someone who is muggle born, you know, non-magical parents. There are some wizards like the Malfoys who think they're better than everyone else because they're what people call pureblood. So he gives like a little bit of a brief on that. And they have all sorts of questions, Harry and Hermione, because they're not really from the magical world. And Ron knows all about like the culture of the magical world. So Ron is like their foray into the culture of it, which is, I love, because when people just watch the movies, Ron is an idiot in the movies. Rupert Grint is the best actor out of the trio, but he's more of like just this fumbling guy in the movies. And in the books, he's actually like a source of information. He is like their window into the magical world. So I love that with Ron. But there's discussion even within this whole conversation of Hagrid and like his expelling. So I just want to know what your general opinion is of the trio, Ron, Harry, and Hermione at this time in the book. Like, who's your favorite out of the three?
Probably Ron right now.
Okay.
I really like Ron. And that was a good point of just like he actually knows what's happening in the wizarding world. But Harry, I think a little bit is dumb in this book with like hearing the voice and following it and all that stuff I don't like.
Yeah.
And then Hermione grows a lot in this book. This is her first like big burst of character development, I think, especially like with Lockhart, because she acknowledges that he's dumb. But then is still obsessed with him.
Yep.
So, I don't know, Ron.
Ron is great. I love Ron. He's probably my favorite up to this point, too. I do love Harry, I do love Hermione, but Ron is just great. Would you rather go to a Death Day party or a Halloween feast? We talked about it before, but what's your justification?
I think I would hate a Death Day party, but if that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to brave the Death Day party. Ghosts are scary.
Yeah, you can always go to a Halloween feast anytime you want. But a Death Day party comes around once in a blue moon.
Exactly. And they had, like, you get to meet so many new people that you didn't, like, I didn't know there was that many ghosts in the world.
Yeah.
I thought they were like the 10 at Hogwarts or something.
And they're all Caspers flying around.
Exactly, all Casper, only Casper. And then just to have so many of them all together, it's like I didn't even think about there being other ghosts in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then having like ghost drama too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because there's like backstories for the ghosts that are actually kind of interesting. Like Nearly Headless Nick, he says, you think getting hit 45 times in the neck with a blunt axe would qualify you to join the Headless Hunt? Like, what do you think is his backstory? Why did he get hit 45 times with a blunt axe?
Blunt axe?
In the head.
He probably like cheated on his wife.
Dang. And she came after him with a blunt axe.
Yeah, because that's probably a good answer. I don't know. It feels like either one person's very mad at him, chop, 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 or mass murder, like Murder on the Orient Express.
Never seen that.
Oh, well, can I spoil it?
Yeah.
Okay. They basically all take a stab at this person.
Ooh.
And the guy trying to solve the mystery like doesn't realize that, because he's like, why is there so many different kinds of wounds and like whatever? But everybody had a reason to kill this person, so they all decided to do it together.
Dang.
So maybe that's Nearly Headless Nick.
Dang, he had 45 different people with blunt axes. Taking swings.
If like 45 people hate you, you did something wrong.
For sure. Like, you're doing something wrong in life.
Maybe he's a politician.
Yeah, right.
It's easy to have people hate you. How do you think he died?
I think he died because maybe for something similar to what you were saying. I think probably something about jealous love or something like that. Like he maybe wasn't the one who cheated, but he was the one who was the person with the person cheating. So maybe like someone's wife cheated with Nearly Headless Nick, and this person came after him, like the husband came after him with a blunt axe, you know,
revenge,
maybe something like that. Yeah,
I feel like a man wouldn't take a blunt axe though, like a blunt axe. Not to hate on women, but I'm just saying, I don't know that women would take like a blunt versus a sharp axe.
What you said before though is a fascinating idea, because one of the first things that came into my head was if Nearly Headless Nick was the person who had done the cheating and his wife hit him with the blunt axe, the blunt axe makes sense because if he's too busy cheating, he doesn't have time to sharpen his axe. It's like a small little detail, you know, like he's getting lazy in certain parts of his life. So obviously he would get lazy in his marriage.
And to me, it's also like it was laying around.
Yeah.
Like it's just in the house.
Yeah.
You just grab what's there. Because realistically, what's the most powerful weapon you're going to have in your house? Like, I don't know if they have guns here.
Yeah.
Like, an axe has to be pretty top of the list. If she's not magic, can she not magic him to death? Is it all on his neck? Like 45 chops on his neck?
Yeah.
And he's not dead. Like, or he's not
no,
headless.
He's not decapitated.
That's embarrassing.
I know, right?
I feel like 3 tops and you're headless.
Yeah, 100%. It must have been a really blunt axe with like a hammer.
Yeah. Honestly, that's so true. Wait, I have a favorite ghost line in here. It's not even a line. It's just a description. History of magic was the dullest subject on their schedule. Professor Binns, who taught it, was their only ghost teacher, and the most exciting thing that ever happened in his class was his entering the room through the blackboard. Like, I don't know why that makes me so happy, but that is like, dare I say, my favorite line in this book.
Yeah,
like,
I love it. That's
and great. Especially when it's just like Casper to me. It's like, hello, class. I don't know.
If if I could teach any subject at Hogwarts, I think I might want to teach obviously herbology, but I would love to teach history of magic and make it fun and entertaining.
Yeah,
because the history of magic seems so interesting to me. Like, history is the best. I love history.
I don't get why. So none of the ghosts are 1,000 years old.
Some of them are.
Why does no one know the exact date of Hogwarts starting then? Because
great question.
Binns says that later.
Oh, so none of the Hogwarts ghosts know it because none of the Hogwarts ghosts are over 1,000. You're right. But some ghosts can be over 1,000. None of the Hogwarts... Angel, hold on. None of the
because he goes, the exact date is not known of the founding.
Why?
But he's like, is he not 500? Like, I thought he was very old too.
This is fascinating because usually you haunt the place where you died. So why are there some ghosts that they didn't...
This is what I wrote in my notes. None of the ghosts were around from the beginning of the school, otherwise someone would know its exact date. Why didn't anyone write it down? 150. Oh, that's my page number. LOL. It seems like something that shouldn't be obscure. The start of the giant wizarding school. You all know, of course, that Hogwarts was founded over 1,000 years ago. The precise date is uncertain by the 4 greatest witches and wizards of the age.
Dude, you're bringing up some great questions. I don't know the answers to them.
Because it would just be the first round of ghosts, like first students, first wizards.
Yeah. So some of them should know.
Maybe no one died at the beginning because it was safer.
Yeah, they do say there's no safer place than Hogwarts, which is a flat out lie.
Yeah, why is that? Like, why is Hogwarts safe?
It is a recurring question I will not have the answer to. If you could teach one class at Hogwarts, what would you teach?
Probably care of magical creatures.
Nice.
Or herbology.
Yeah. Then if like a ghost walks through you, you feel cold. Have you ever felt a ghost walk through you?
Yes. For sure. 100%. I say that all the time. I'm like, did you guys feel that? Like, no. It's like, well, that was a ghost. Just cold.
Yeah.
100%.
I feel like there's a ghost always in me because I'm always cold. Like there's just a ghost walking around in my skin at all times, like torturing me with being cold all the time.
You are a ghost.
I'm a solid ghost, a little Casper the ghost.
Have you walked through a ghost? Like, that's not yourself?
No.
Oh, okay. Have you seen a ghost?
I've seen like some weird stuff, but I don't think I've like, actually, yeah, but I probably attributed this to like, like walking through someone's like farts or something like that. It's more like walking through like warm drafts than it has been cold. Like sometimes I'm playing like soccer when I was a kid, and all of a sudden like I'd hit like a warm spot. I'm like, what the heck? That was weird. I have like a definitive memory of a game that I played where it was kind of cold, and I would like hit little warm drafts, and I was like, that was weird.
That's disgusting. You're outside.
Yeah.
There's a warm spot outside.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like kind of like in a pool when you're swimming in a pool, and all of a sudden there's like a warm spot.
You're just like swim fast.
Yeah. What do you think of Snape in this whole chapter? Because there's this next chapter pops up, and it's the writing of the wall. And there's one really interesting thing that happens with Snape, that he actually defends the trio where they're coming out from the Death Day party. They get in trouble because they're at the scene of the crime. And then everyone comes, and then Snape says, maybe, he goes, if I might speak, headmaster, said Snape from the shadows. And Harry's sense of foreboding increased. He was sure Snape was going to say, he was sure nothing Snape was going to say was going to do him any good. Potter and his friends may have simply been in the wrong place at the wrong time, he said. Why is Snape defending them?
Because Snape is good.
Snape is good?
Yeah.
You actually think Snape's good?
In a lot of ways, yeah. But I don't really remember why he did that. But when I read that, I was like, see, Snape's good. And I think he has some moral compass that is askew, but still there. And he had to do something. But I know he does it for like a reason, and I just don't remember why.
Interesting. Okay. Because I was going to say, you got to the part where you had like this as a little spoiler where you said Snape killed Dumbledore. How could he be redeemed from that if he kills Dumbledore? Wouldn't that kind of automatically make him bad?
No. I mean, you can live 85 years of being a good person and then go out terribly, and I'm not going to negate your 85 years of being good.
So you think he's a good person?
I'm not saying he's a good person, but I'm saying he's done good things, and it's not crazy that he can do good things.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know. I think that's probably not a very bulletproof argument.
Yeah, it's not a very popular argument, but I like it. I like niche, unpopular arguments. It makes it more fun.
I'm just very optimistic, and I don't like just summarizing people for one thing. So.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
People are more complicated than just one or two things that make them up, Yeah.
But does it explain why he said that? Am I missing that?
No. I mean, you didn't it's not like a full explanation, but it's just weird that he would say that. Why he would defend them? If your assumption is more that he really is like good at heart, then that answers the question. If your assumption, which is most people's assumption, that he's like evil and that he's like really trying to get Harry, then that question is weird. Or that question makes sense because why would he really ever want to defend Harry?
He could also be like allowing him to not get expelled and stay at the school so that he can go down into the chamber and die.
Yeah, for sure.
Or he's like talking to Voldemort in Pettigrew.
Yeah. He's got like some grand plan for that. Yeah, that's a good point. So in the end of 9, they devise a strategy then to try to figure out who the heir of Slytherin is, because they think it's Draco. And they take a little bit of Polyjuice Potion. If you could get Polyjuice Potion, who would you transform into if you had a little bit?
Oh my goodness. I definitely would do someone I know. Like, I'd want to just see what it's like living in their life. But I would be dumb and I'd just pick someone random. Do you have someone like that you know?
I don't know if I would ever want to do that, to be honest. There's I wouldn't mind doing it for the reason that you're saying it, for like trying to live like a day in the life of another person to really like understand them better as a friend. I probably for sure want to do it for one of my friends, just like, you know, to better understand what they go through in a day or what like is happening to them. But
I have a great one.
Yeah.
This is so dumb, but I have like these very minimum wage jobs that I always have wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to be a pizza man. So I would go to my pizza man and I would take his hair or something. And I would just be a pizza lady for the day. And like,
you know what? That's actually kind of sweet. I would love doing that with being a server. I always thought like, you know, being like a waiter would kind of be, it's not that fun, but there's intrigue behind it for me.
Yeah, like use it as an experiential thing and like not just to get inside someone's head. Because I don't want, like, I have autonomy. Yeah. I don't need to like know what you're up to.
Yeah, for sure. I like that answer. That's a great answer. So you just be a pizza person and a waiter. Really like, good stuff.
I love pizza and like I love the whole like aura of a pizza shop. Like where we live, there's so many good ones. And I don't know. It's just like they're just God tier, and I need to experience it.
Next time we record, I'll get some pizza,
and
we'll do pizza ratings and reviews now.
Ooh.
All right, and then finally in chapter 10, there is
Polyjuice.
Well, chapter 10 isn't really so much about the Polyjuice. They're starting to brew the Polyjuice. But chapter 10 is the Rogue Bludger, which you kind of find out with Dobby, with everything that's happening with Dobby. And
I have some Dobby lines that I love here.
Oh, yeah, hit me with them. So
this is where my low self-esteem Dobby thing comes from, because he's calls the elves the dregs of the magical world.
Yeah.
Dobby says that, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
Because either he's brainwashed into thinking so lowly of himself,
yes,
or he's okay with the class system that they have in the wizarding world. But Dobby remembers how it was when he who must not be named was at the height of his powers, sir. We house elves were treated like vermin, sir. Of course, Dobby is still treated like that, sir, he admitted, drying his face on his pillowcase. But mostly, sir. Also, so many sirs.
I know.
Life has improved for my kind since you triumphed over he who must not be named. And then, ... Harry Potter shone like a beacon of hope for those of us who thought the dark days would never end. And it's like, I don't know, like he had his little taste of freedom or something, but it was just like normal human treatment.
Yeah.
And then he also goes, Harry Potter risks his own life for his friends. So noble, so valiant, but he must save himself. He must. Harry Potter must. ... I don't know. I just really love those lines.
It is great because you see how much he loves and values Harry in these moments when you're reading it back for the second time. Like you truly see how much Harry Potter has meant to him. He got like this little taste of freedom and was like, he wasn't treated like vermin. Even though Dobby still was, it was like he was seeking the betterment of House Elves, which is really beautiful.
And it's like wholesome affection for him and adoration.
Yeah.
Because to him, Harry Potter's more than just a normal master, more than just a normal wizard. But yeah.
What it's interesting. He's becoming definitely more of a loved character through this. But there's another little moment in here where they bring someone else up to the medical ward. You remember who it was?
Colin?
Yeah. And they say this line, if Albus hadn't been on his way downstairs for hot chocolate, who knows what might have, and then ... Do you really think that Albus Dumbledore was on his way down to get hot chocolate, or was he doing something else? And if so, what was he doing?
I would never pick up on that. I don't know. Sure, I'll wait.
I just ruined the moment. We're talking about these great Dobby lines, and I'm all of a sudden like, what do you think about Dumbledore going down for hot chocolate?
I could see it happening, but also his office seems pretty stocked, so I don't know why he doesn't have like a Keurig up there.
Keurig for hot chocolate, absolutely.
Or just make it appear out of his little.
Maybe they make it better downstairs.
I don't know. He could be doing something suspicious, but I don't know what that would be. Do you have theories?
Nope.
It's just an empty question.
It's just an empty question.
This though almost made me cry for some reason about Colin. There was a bunch of grapes next to him, said Professor McGonagall. We think he was trying to sneak up here to visit Potter. And then Harry gets all upset about that. And I was like, no, Colin. I know. I don't know why. That's so sad.
There is something really lovely about who Colin and Dobby are. They're super annoying in this book. This book is filled with a lot of annoying people. But in how they actually want to help, like they're fans, yes, but they're a little bit different than fans. They're like fans that, like for Dobby especially, like you were talking about before, Harry has actually helped his life. And Harry doesn't realize that. So Harry just thinks he's an annoying person. But for Dobby, it's like something different. It's something greater. And I think it's the same thing for Colin. I think it's the same thing for Colin, but a little bit more intuitive. Like really, Colin is allowed into Hogwarts because Harry triumphed over Voldemort in the beginning. Because if Voldemort won, then it would have been only purebloods in the school. And Colin would have been allowed in the school. So Colin has this adoration of Harry. Probably not really sure why he has it. He just likes this idea of a famous person. But I love Colin so much in these books because he's just this nerdy little kid. And like, yeah, you would do this stuff if you're a fan. But who else is out there? Like, where are Ron and Hermione sneaking and getting grapes and trying to bring Harry grapes in the hospital ward so that he can like have something good to eat, you know?
Yeah. And Harry and like Ron and Hermione have been there for Harry so many times. But when his like circle of friends is growing, I don't know. That was sweet.
It is really lovely, I know. I'm a Colin fan. So what is your favorite moment of these chapters, and who is your favorite character in these 5 chapters?
I gotta go with Ron.
Again?
No. Actually, I'll say Hermione because Hermione's like starting to get on the up here.
Oh no, Mrs. Weasley was your favorite in the last one.
Yeah.
You can go with Ron. Ron's great.
I don't know. I don't think about them in favorites or not. And then my favorite moment is probably just like the cat dying. It's like it just hit me. I don't know. It's good.
It just hit you? What do you mean?
It just is so like unexpected in a way, and then they're just like all in the hallway and they're all staring at it and no one's like spooked out. Like why is no one scared of walking around Hogwarts? I would be terrified. All these hallways. I think that this entire series, like I would be so spooked out of everything.
I would be so terrified walking around every corner. It's like when you're like walking upstairs and you feel like someone's behind you and like you sprint up the stairs. Like I'd be sprinting. I would be sprinting everywhere in Hogwarts.
Yes, me too. And then things are moving. And like, what is the suit of armor doing? It's just like
my only comfort would be that you're never really alone in Hogwarts Castle because there's always painting. So like if I'm walking, you like the paintings are you're like, hey, there's something behind you, and then I can like turn. If it was a completely dark and empty castle, that would be scarier to me. The paintings make it a little bit more homey.
You can always trust the paintings though?
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I don't know if you can always trust them. There's definitely some untrustworthy paintings there.
For sure. There's probably like paintings of murders happening or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can things come out of the paintings? Like, could they throw an axe at you?
Can't throw anything out of the paintings. You can move from painting to painting, but you can't throw anything out.
Also, there's spiders coming out of like these killings.
Yeah.
And they don't follow them. And they're like, look, they're all in a line.
Yeah.
And they don't follow them, and that bothers me.
That is a little bit.
Because I would have followed them. I mean, I wouldn't.
Really?
I wouldn't have followed them, but like.
You'd have told other people to follow them for you.
You should have followed them. Yeah. But what would have happened if they hadn't had Hagrid's warning yet? You know?
They would have, the book would have ended with the heir of Slytherin coming back and Ginny's body dying in the Chamber of Secrets and laying there forever.
Because they would have got eaten by the spiders?
Yeah, probably. Or they probably wouldn't even follow the spiders in. That's a great thought in that when Hagrid's leaving, he says if anybody was looking for anything, all they would have to do is follow the spiders. And they do, which comes later. It comes in the next one. So we'll talk about that in the next one. That's actually a fascinating one. Why they don't follow the spiders earlier when they see them all in a line.
I know.
It's a great point. My favorite though, I'll probably go for Ron. And then my favorite moment is I love a good Quidditch chapter. So I'm just gonna stick with good old Quidditch. Just flying around. Harry's like free again. It's great. Yeah. I love it.
These questions are so much easier for you.
I know.
It's like you've done this already.
I know. Yeah. It's like nice. Yeah. Not my first rodeo.
Nope.
Anyway, thanks for joining us on our journey of Harry Potter and the Second Time Reader. I'm getting good.
See ya.
Later.